Okay, MB Moose Lover here again, and another insect video. A lot of insect videos lately. A few days here. Try to get out in the October woods and get some moose footage, and looking forward to it. Okay, so basically we've got some wasps here in the video. These are yellow jackets, and the story here is over the summer there in August, for 2 or 3 different weeks I filmed this and put it together. I was trimming some weeds on the edge of my lawn near this apple tree. There's a crab apple tree, and there's some thornberry bushes, and I don't know, there was some dead wood that was limbs coming out of a section of this tree growing out of the ground that was rotten, and I pulled it out, and it was quite a big piece. And then there was some other brush and stuff, and I was using my scythe to trim these weeds. I don't know if everybody knows what a scythe is, but I thought maybe I'd do a video on my scythe sometime. But anyway, just cutting these weeds, and all of a sudden I kind of noticed I was up to my knees in yellow jackets, and kind of surprised me. I just kind of stood there for a minute. I think, oh, no, this probably isn't good. And I stepped off onto the lawn and backed away from them, and there was about 4 or 5 around my legs, and I started, kind of swiping them off, and then I felt one sting me on the knee right through my jogging pants, and so I, hurried a little quicker to the house, and I got over near my storage building and escaped inside, and anyway, and this is where I got stung on the knee, and you can only see it swelled up, and I'm kind of tightening the skin up there, but it stung for a bit there. I'm not allergic, and I've been stung many times, and I mean, I have had some of them swell up more than others, but this is when I got a metal storage building. There was 2 actually followed me in there, and I swiped one, knocked him off on the floor, and then I caught this one in a little bottle. I wanted to be able to show my wife how small they were. I thought they were so tiny for wasps, and I don't know if they have varying ages when they're developing, but so I put some sugar in the bottle for him there. I'm really kind captive, and I don't know if he was eating it or not, but anyway, I basically, when I got in the house, I realized that there was another one on me that did get off, and it was flying inside the mudroom. So I grabbed the fly swatter and gave it a swat, and that was this one here. And he's still kind of moving there, but I didn't want the cats to eat him. So, like again, really tiny, just not much bigger than my small fingernail. And so and then I basically went back out a little later with my camera to film, and they had calmed down some, but they were still a little irate there. As you can see, they were still a little upset that I disrupted their nest, and I kind of wanted to tell where the nest was. I was trying to figure out exactly, of course, the ground nest, and I'm looking for the entrance to see where they were going in, and eventually you can kind of make it out. This is from the lawn side, and then I eventually pinpointed it here, and I went around and filmed from the other side. But right there, you can kind of see right there in dead center that they're kind of all migrating into one little area. It's right there, just dead center. You can see them. They're all kind of, they figured out where the entrance is. I disrupted it a bit. Okay, and so I've titled this video Yellow Jacket Wasps, a Different Perspective, and it's just that a lot of videos you go and see about wasps are, there are ways to kill them. There's so many videos on ways to destroy them, and I've destroyed them before, if they're in areas where you had to spray them if they were, but where people are going to be in contact with them. But I don't know. As I get older, I just little more tolerant, I guess, and appreciate life a little more, and you start to see the value in things. And I've done a lot of research on these wasps since I've been filming them, and they're beneficial. I mean, they eat a lot of insects, and this is actually what I came up with right here. I basically decided, where it's right next to my lawn, I don't, spend a lot of time right in that little area, and I did actually trim around here and got most of it done before, this, and then I still was able to do pretty close to them there. And what I did was I basically made a roof for them, and I found an old, this is actually a grass catcher from my lawn tractor, and I never did use it. They were just kicking around, so I just made them a little roof to, so that they basically would only approach from one side. And then when I'm doing my lawn, I can go up there just before dark and mow it, and they don't bother me. I mean, I've been around it many times filming. Here I am filming right next to it, and they only bother you. I mean, if I go over there and rap on it, they're gonna come out and be irate. But it's I don't have any kids. My boys are grown up. They're seldom around home, and I don't have anybody else. I'm pretty much a hermit, me and my wife. So I basically don't need to go in this area. And like I said, they're beneficial. They eat a lot of insects, and they feed the insects to the larvae. They basically the larvae eat, they either chew up the insects for the larvae, and then they basically feed on fruit themselves. And there's you're gonna see it. This is a crabapple tree right here, and there's thornberry bushes all over this hole, and then there's another berry tree over there. A little further, there's all kinds of fruit here for them. So, and I watched them here one day. I stood here and filmed them coming out of their little house, and I counted 100 that actually they're going in and out, so it's hard. I counted them just going in, I think, and it was like 100 in just a short time. So I imagine there's a fair amount in the nest. I've done research on bees before, and did videos on hornets' nests out in the big woods and stuff. So they all basically follow the same pattern. The queen starts the nest herself, and she basically she's actually carrying the sperm from last year from the male, and she basically gets a bunch of workers that are born, and they basically are usually sterile females, and they will start to become workers, and they'll help her finish the nest, and then once she starts laying eggs, well, they'll take care of the larvae, and then they have and there's also sterile males that are workers, and then as they get bigger, and some of them will take on roles of defense, and they'll gather food, and like I said, they eat fruit themselves, but then they also feed from the larvae. Actually excrete a liquid that's a sweet liquid that they also kind of sustains them, and it's quite interesting. And then basically as fall comes, the males will leave. They'll start she'll actually start having males that are fertile, and females that are fertile, which will become queens, and so then basically some of them will become queens, and then she'll basically just leave the nest in the fall and die, and the other females will all go off and winter somewhere under some tree bark, or in hollow trees, in the dirt, wherever, and basically there's berries there. There's my thornberry bushes, and I guess they'll feed on those, and especially once it starts to, here in the fall, when it's starting to get soft and rot and fall to the ground and stuff. So so then basically these queens will go and winter over someplace, and the next spring they'll start their own nest, and they very seldom use the nest again. So another thing I'm going to try to see if I can maybe dig this nest out before it freezes, and just I want to see how big it is. There's actually a guy on YouTube's got a channel here. He professionally removes bee and wasp nests, and that's what he does a lot of with the wasp ones, especially. He relocates them even on his own property, and I think that's kind of cool. Where they are beneficial. I mean, a lot of the farmers around dairy barns, there's a great place to relocate them, because they can control flies, and you can actually get. I worked on a commercial poultry farm, all my life for over 40 years, and we didn't do it ourselves, but you can actually rent wasps or buy them, and they're the specific wasps that won't sting you, but they basically control flies, and they eat the larvae. So around hog barns and stuff, it was a really good idea, I think, to relocate them, and I don't think it'd be that hard to do, even for just normal people. If you just there's a certain way you can do it. It'd be interesting if I could try it, but anyway, that's another video. But anyway, so this here is I just filmed this a couple of days ago, and this is I actually got to where I could actually see the nest, and you can actually see it down inside here, and it's just a paper nest, the same as you would see on the side of a building, but it's they've got it. They would have had to excavate the hole and then start building it. And a lot of times, I think when you're seeing them fly out of there, I'd be watching them fly out, and it didn't seem like they were gone very long. They were back in again, and I would imagine they've got to excavate all the dirt out as they're making this nest bigger. So just like ants, I would imagine they have to carry the dirt out, and it'd be quite a chore to enlarge the hole if you're enlarging the nest. So it's kind of interesting too. So I say it'd be interesting if I can see how big this nest is. But this is a really neat angle. This is so fun watching them here, and you can tell that when you think workers, bees and wasps as workers, I mean some serious work. I mean you watch them here, and they're constantly going all day, and you watch them coming in and landing, and some of them are so tired and exhausted they're just staggering, and you'll see them, they're coming out, and they'll come out and kind of make a little bit of a circle as they come out to leave room so they don't run into the ones that are returning. So you'll see the ones will come out and make kind of a half turn, and then they'll crawl out and fly, and then the ones coming in tend to either go off to the right or left when they land so that they don't run into the other ones, and they all have to kind of avoid each other as they're coming and going in this little hole. It's really and some of them are landing sideways, and they're so tired from flying all the time. I think they're just in a trance, and they're slamming into each other. It's something you just don't see all the time. So I'm really glad that I saved this nest, because I never would have got this video. And I got another video that I'm going to put on here that's really, really funny, because it's the funny side of it that that I really got to have fun with it. So I really like that video, and this one here is a bit long, but it's more on the informative side. This other one is just for fun, and it's really cute, and I got to thank the wasps for it. So anyway, getting closer to the end here, but I kind of wanted to cut it shorter, but I figure we're heading for 15 minutes, and might as well just let it go. People can either watch it to the end or not. It's kind of mesmerizing watching them here. It's kind of, it's strangely satisfying for some reason. And there's a difference in these wasps, and I don't know. Me and my wife were noticing that there's, just slamming into each other. There's one here that at least every now and then you'll see one or two here that tend to have I don't know, it seems like their feelers are a little longer, and their wings, and there's one, well, not that one, but you'll see one come out and make a turn here like that one there, and it just seems to be that it has longer feelers, and its wings are a little longer. It might just be right there. See, seems like it's a bigger wasp. It could just be the angle. Maybe, there might be different ages in some of them too. It might be a difference between a queen. I don't know if a queen wouldn't be coming out and doing any work, I wouldn't think. Okay, so I think I made this long enough, and I got more bee footage here, but I think we've seen, you pretty well get the gist of it, so I'm going to just end this here, and anybody who made it this far, or watched any of the video, I hope you enjoyed what you watched, and later.